Hey, I'm Rat, and today I'm gonna show you how to take that emotional pad sound that All Girls Are The Same by Juice WRLD has and use it to make better beats of your own. I'll also give you some free loops if you stick to the end. With that said, let's begin. Okay, the first thing I want to show you before you decide if you want to take my advice on this is the final melody I came up with using the simple steps shown later in this video. If you like the melody, then stick around because I got a bunch of tips for you. Anyways, here's the melody. All Girls melody has two main elements, and those are the spacey pad and the bell lead. So let's start with the pad. For the sound selection on this part, I'll be using the ambient space piano on Omnisphere. But if you want a free alternative, you can use the Dream Bell preset on Citrus. Step 1. Which note should I use? Like in most melodies, we're gonna start by adding a natural minor scale. Now, when it comes to spacey, emotional melodies, there is a trick I use pretty much all the time. I've told you about scale degrees before, and how 1 feels like home. Well, this time we're going to use it again. The trick is basically starting on a 1 and ending on a 6 chord. You can do whatever you want in between as long as you end here. I do this because the fall from 1 to a 6 octave gives the melody a very emotional feeling. I think that's because the 6 doesn't really have a lot of tension, so it doesn't really feel like it wants to go anywhere, like the 5 for example. And that helps give our melody a darker, sadder vibe. Just listen to this. There are, of course, other ways you can get that emotional feeling, but using 1 and 6 is my favorite. Well, now we need to add some more stuff in the middle. For the second chord, we have two options, either to go up or down. Going up would give this a more energetic little tekka kind of feeling, and going down would sound darker. In this case, I'm gonna go down and add a 7. Keep in mind that these two notes are a 7 and a 6 octave, which means that originally they would go up here. But I moved them down an octave so that it sounds like this progression is going down. Like I've told you a bunch of times, the 7th chord has tension, so it feels like it does want to go somewhere. So no tension, tension, and no tension is a good way to keep the melody moving. Our third chord will be the 6th, and I won't be adding a 4th chord this time. Leaving space open is also a good way to add an emotional feeling. Now you already know step 2 is to move the 3rd up an octave. Now, to add that movement that All Girls Are The Same has, you need to do this. First, cut the notes you want to add the movement to like this. Now, at a half time, so that the movement in these notes sounds less harsh, more subtle. And now move the whole thing up an octave. Lastly, I'll add this note here to make the progression less boring. Okay, now we have the main part. Now we can build our lead. For the lead, I also have a few tips. The way Nick Mira did this is by adding one note every beat on bar 2 and 4, and a few notes in the beginning of 1 and 3. So the majority of your notes should be here. Another tip is to make the majority of the notes in your melody be chordal notes. That means notes that are the same as the notes from our chords. Using these two tips, I built this melody. Lastly, for the ambience, I'm going to add a few backup pads using the same MIDI. Now we need some drums. And that's about it. Now arrange this however you want, and that's about it. That's how to make an emotional, spacey melody like All Girls Are The Same by Juice WRLD. Before I play you the final beat, if you want to download the melody loop I made in this video, there's a free download link in the description. It's royalty free, so you can use it however you want. I make 2 beat breakdowns a week, so if you want more tips on how to make better melodies, subscribe, and as always, see ya.